Welcome to episode 89 on the Live Blissed Out podcast. Did you know live video is watched 10 times longer and is 8 times more likely to be commented on? Hello, action taker. Welcome to Live Blissed Out, a podcast where I have inspirational and informational conversations with business owners and subject matter experts to help you get the scoop on a variety of topics. Tired of hesitating or making decisions without having the big picture? Want to be in the know? Then this is the place to go. I'm your host, Marissa Houston, helping you achieve bliss through awareness and action. So let's get to it. Joining us is Danny Colella, a Facebook Live video marketing coach and consultant. He helps businesses and individuals use live video to market themselves, build their brand, and create a more engaged audience online. He helps you overcome the fear of live video and start speaking confidently online with his coaching and business consulting platforms. Live video is about education and little about marketing. Offer a solution to a problem enough and your target buyer eventually says, I'm ready. To learn more and to download your free mobile live video starter kit, visit dannycolella.com/free-starter-kit. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional advice. Danny, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to bring some live video knowledge.
Me too, Danny. I think this is going to be awesome.
We're going to talk about using live video to attract and engage customers. Not only are we going to talk about the power of live video and why it's different than things like produced video or video you record and then release later, we're going to talk about some pro tips, some platforms, some things that are going to really help you get started as you're kind of just getting into this world right where I did 5 years ago, maybe with just your mobile phone. We're going to get you started in a right direction where you can overcome some of the main obstacles that are keeping you stuck.
To be honest, I thought live was relatively new because I see it happening a lot now. So it's kind of shocking when you say it's been around that long because I think the trend has definitely gone live. And I know for a fact people are confused about why they need to consider live versus pre-recording up front. And there are definite advantages to live. Can we talk about that so that our listeners understand what they can get out of the live format?
Yeah, that's a really good first question to start because this is where most people come in. Like, I get live video, but why can't I just put it together, pre-record it, get it the way that I really want it to look, hear, and sound, and then put it out there? And this is a completely normal question, but I do have a definitive answer for you. The first thing is that pretty much all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, they all are preferring live video over those pre-recorded videos or those produced videos in their algorithm. So up to this point, I'm assuming you've probably heard the word algorithm. Essentially, it's a formula behind the scenes deciding how valuable your content is, if it's meeting the metrics that the platform wants you to meet, and then they essentially show that to more people within the platform. So in all social media platforms, live video is actually preferred, meaning that if you be brave and you hit that live button, the social media platforms are actually going to serve it to more people. Now, why? So let's talk about the two big reasons. What is social media all about? It's all about being social, connecting with an audience, connecting with listeners, creating community. The one thing that doesn't happen in pre-recorded videos is people don't comment. They don't interact. If anything, they sit back and watch. And at the end of the day, they're not doing anything. Social media is weighting your value on their platform on whether or not you're getting their users to do something. So that's why influencers, people that are out there that are getting tons of comments, that's why they're so valuable to the social ecosystem. So the first thing is community. If you go live, people are 8 times more likely to comment and interact, and they're actually going to watch that video 10 times longer. And there's a big reason for that too, because social media knows that when you just hit that go live button and you just talk, more than often, you're trying to just build community and be authentically you. But when you uploaded that recorded video or that pre-recorded video, Facebook knows and social media knows you're selling. You're trying to sell something and you're trying to be perfect. And in a world of perfect, we want people that are original and genuine and authentic. And that's why we see these live videos outperform pre-recorded videos 100% of the time. If you want to do a test on your own, basically do a live video with a same topic that you're talking about and just do it live. And if you want to pre-record another video and release it a week or two later, you're going to find that when it comes to views and metrics and comments, that pre-recorded video is not going to perform as well organically or without any paid advertising. So your live video on the same topic is actually going to trump the viewers and the actual interaction that you get.
I wouldn't be shocked. I think that is probably a great thing to try because you'll see the proof right there and then.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of your live videos, and what I love about them is that you're not just talking about, I'm having a great day today and I just wanted you to come have a great day with me. You do that, but at the same time, you offer authentic value and you talk about specific things that help people. People just go live to go live, and there's absolutely no point to the video. And that can be troublesome because then people start to think, well, why am I spending time watching this person? What's in it for me?
Yeah, and there's a strategy that we employ, especially with our students in our program. That type of stream, we call it an IRL stream. So in real life stream. That's where you bring someone along just for what you're doing. And that's actually a deeper engagement tool. If that's your only strategy, you're right. It's not going to do well. You're not offering value. You're bringing people along for a ride, but you're not helping them grow or add value. The best type of live video marketing is actually somewhat educational or awareness. Things that you know. So the one thing that I always tell all business owners is if your customer has a problem and you have a whole slew of solutions, one easy thing to do is start breaking down the solutions that you have and letting them know, hey, if you're having trouble doing live video, then we're going to talk about 3 things that can help you get over the hump and start streaming confidently in less than a week. So if somebody's interested in doing live video, they might be interested in popping in and hearing that. We take it one step further as well, meaning that I encourage all my students to be human. Be you. If there are other things that you're engaged in or interested in, for instance, a nonprofit that you love or a cause that you really care about, it's okay to do live videos to support that cause and build awareness on that cause as well. One cause that I align with pretty deeply is mental health and substance abuse. So I do have conversations around mental health and substance abuse because that cause matters to me. And more importantly, it attracts those professionals to me so that they are people I want to work with, right? They're people I'd love to do business with because I care deeply about that. So it turns into me building awareness to eventually I actually gain paying clients that want to use my services because they hear me confidently talking about things that they care about.
Yeah, so you're basically attracting the people you want to attract.
I'm attracting the people I want to attract. The best type of marketing is really not shooting a shotgun and praying that you hit a whole bunch of different target markets. The best type of marketing is talking exactly to the person that you would want picking up the phone and calling you to work with you or connect with you or be a sideline partner with you. Speak to those people, picture them through the lens, or in this case, picture them through the podcast and say, hey, you're the one I want to talk to. You're the one I want to grow with. You're the one that if you pick up that phone or you reach out to me and say, I'm ready, that I'm most excited to work with. Because here's the biggest tip. This isn't about money. This is about you starting to passionately talk about your purpose and letting money just happen after the fact.
And that's the thing, is you just have to approach it as, I'm just going to do what I love here. I'm going to provide value. I'm going to build a community, and then everything else falls into place naturally instead of thinking of it from a different perspective. I am sure that since you mentioned that you've been doing this for quite a while, that when you started, you probably made some mistakes. I would imagine so, because I think we all do, right? When we start something new. I'm sure our listeners are probably thinking to themselves, yeah, but live is scary because I'm going to screw up. I'm going to do something terrible that I didn't plan to do. And then what? I can't rewind. I can't remove it. It's there. What are some of those mistakes that they can potentially avoid? Or even if they do make mistakes, not feel so bad about it?
Yeah, here's one that really took me a while to figure out. I'm a winger. I like to wing it. I'm naturally a person that will just trying to go out and try things. The one thing that is really powerful is live, but it doesn't mean that you can't plan or prepare a little ahead of time to make sure that you stay on the track of thoughts that you want to move through. It's really easy when you first start with live to hit that live button, look at that camera or look at your face, and after about 60 seconds, forget everything you're going to want to talk about. That's normal. So if that's you, I want to say I went through that as well. Just that blank stare of that lens and not another face to talk to. Somehow your thoughts are naturally going to leave you. So what I started doing in the beginning, we'll talk about this a little bit more too when it comes to planning and preparing. I come up with a show topic, something I want to talk about. And to keep it very simple, I put 3 points that I want to make sure that I touch on, okay? Some of you could be a little more detailed, but I would not encourage you to write this out. Don't write long sentences because it's going to look like you're reading, it's going to look inauthentic, and people are going to know you're just reading something. Write bullet points of at least 3 things that you know you want to accomplish during that live video that not only supports your mission, but supports the listener as well. And in the beginning, your job is just to hit that go button, introduce the topic. Everybody knows the hook. You got that 15 seconds to say, hey, I'm Danny Colella, and if you have trouble getting over the fear of going live video, then we're going to talk about the 3 big tips that most people don't know when they start live video. So it's that 15-second sort of hook, and then talk about your 3 points. A second pro tip is most people start with live video on their mobile phone. So for instance, if you watch some of my lives, I got crazy amounts of technology involved, but that's not where I started. I started with my mobile phone. It's your most powerful free marketing tool right in your pocket. And one of the biggest pro tips when you get started to not help you make a little mistake is if you're using your mobile phone to go live, one thing you need to remember is you need to place that phone in airplane mode and then connect to your Wi-Fi. Well, why do we do that? Because the only thing that can interrupt a live video broadcast on a mobile phone is a phone call. You could be passionately talking and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what happened today, but I am just on a roll. And then all of a sudden, a spam caller pops in. You're looking at your phone. The phone pops up. You don't know what to do. You've lost all your train of thought. You're freaking out. They ruined the whole thing. You hit that decline button and you try to move on, but that's going to stop you and get you off your flow. So if you're in airplane mode, it's going to eliminate that call coming through. You can still be connected to Wi-Fi, meaning you can still stream normally. And again, this is only if you have access to Wi-Fi. If you are outside or in the real world streaming, unfortunately, you're stuck using cellular. That could happen to you. And if that does happen to you, this is what I teach my students. Let the whole entire phone call work its way out and know that when that phone call ends, it goes right back to your live broadcast. And when the viewer watches it, nothing ever happened, okay? So Facebook will just cut it all together. So meaning if I'm saying, hey, I'm Danny Colella, then I get a phone call, all I need to do is take that time to, okay, I made this mistake. I need to get through. As soon as that phone call ends, I say, welcome back. You just know that that gap doesn't exist in the final broadcast. It's actually a fluid transition right from beginning to when the phone call ends. Just know, take a breath, gather yourself, and then as soon as that phone call goes away, get right back to your content.
Are you a Gen Xer seeking to engage with your online community to make a positive difference, but keep putting your plans off due to fear or self-doubt? Not too long ago, I struggled with my own limiting beliefs that stopped me from pursuing my goals. I learned a lot of valuable lessons, which I'd like to share with you to help you avoid the same pitfalls. Ace Your Virtual Business is a business group centered upon action, community, and effectiveness. Join us for exclusive offers and weekly live conversations that address your challenges and receive the encouragement, accountability, and support you need to succeed in the virtual business world. To get started now, visit aceyourvirtualbusiness.podia.com. And like anything else, Danny, it boils down to you've got to do it. You have to put it into practice because these things are going to happen. And even though you explain this, which is fantastic because I didn't know this is great information. When it happens, you freak out. You react in a way that you didn't expect, and then you panic. That's okay because I got it under my belt now, so when it happens again, I'll be okay. But it's through those mistakes that we learn, right?
It's through those mistakes that we learn and we become more powerful. And I got to tell you, mistakes are my biggest valuable tool for me getting to this point. They create opportunity for me to grow and become better. And if you were thinking to yourself, I'm afraid, well, guess what? Join everyone else that has ever done live in their life. The fear is normal. And there's that saying that if you're not doing things that scare you, you're not living. And this could be one of them. And the one thing I talk to all my students about, and one day I'll write a book about this, I call it the 5% rule. It's likely that you are worried about the 5% of what could go wrong. I might make a mistake. I might not sound professional. I might not do this. I might not do that. When in reality, this is about 5% of the things that could go wrong. And at the end of the day, there's probably a 95% chance that you can make some impact and do a really good job. Does that 5% exist? Of course it does. But it's 5%. It's a small chance that these things are going to happen. You're going to make these big mistakes, or you're going to ruin your career, or the biggest one is a troll's going to hop on and get you off your flow. This just doesn't happen as much as people think it does. And you just got to get over that fear, because that is what is keeping you stuck right where you are. And whenever I talk about fear, this is what I say to everybody. Pretty much anyone can put a pre-recorded video in today's market, upload it to a YouTube channel. That's easy, okay? But I want to flash back to 10 years ago. That was not easy. People were afraid. They didn't know what to do, how to do it. They didn't know where to begin. And the point is that if you would have started a YouTube channel 10 years ago, odds are you'd be in a good position today. But launching a YouTube channel today is actually difficult. It's a saturated market, and most people have the ability to upload video to YouTube. I use that as an example because that's where Facebook Live is now. It's where YouTube was 10 years ago. Is it scary for everyone? Yes. Is it hard to do? Yes. Is there a fear? Yes. But give it about 5 more years, that's not going to be the case. People are going to be confidently talking on live video like it's no big deal. So the point of that comparison is the time is now. If it's scary, embrace it, get started, get over the hump, because you truly do have the ability to build something great over time, because there's no overnight success. You're not going to do 12 live videos and then your business went from 40K to 240K. It just doesn't work like that.
Nothing works like that. Everything requires so much time and effort, really.
Yeah. You hear a lot of CEOs say, yeah, we started this 20 years ago. Now we're an overnight success. Because that's what we see. We tend to get really drawn into the people that are there. What we forget is that the people that are there, they built this. Like Oprah started in the 80s, and she didn't become big until she was 15 or 20 years into her career. And just know that that may sound overwhelming, but if what you're doing matters to you, start now.
Yes. And I'm a big believer in the start, because here's the thing. I always tell people, if you look at something from a really big perspective, it seems overwhelming and you get so paralyzed by fear that you don't do anything. But if you start with one small task and build up on it, then you'll actually get traction. So in this example, I would say, and this is just me, if you're really that scared, why not go live in a private group, in a group of people that can be supportive and give you feedback and help you grow? And there may be like 2 listeners, but who cares? Because that's where you start. You have 2 people watching you. They're giving you feedback. They're telling you, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Or could you add this? And you start getting comfortable. And when you get comfortable with 2, that 2 becomes 15 and the 15 becomes 30 and 100. And pretty soon you're there. So you gotta start. That to me is the key.
You hit it right on the head. And I created a Facebook Live training group that specifically serves that purpose. It serves the ability for you to hit the live button within the group, talk about a topic that matters to you, and their odds are I'm probably going to check it out and give you some pointers. And I'm nice. I promise you. I'll tell you the things that I know are going to help you grow, and I'm going to push you like a coach should. You're exactly right, Marissa, is just go live, do it somewhere privately, because you're going to grow and become better each time. When I look back and I look at my old videos that I used to do, I did not have passion or purpose. When I finally did enough live videos, for some reason, I just thought to myself, wow, this isn't that hard. This is actually pretty easy, and I can do it whenever I want. And that was powerful for me too.
You got comfortable. And I challenge people to go to YouTube, look at these channels, for example, that are super successful, because many of them have been doing this for decades or more. Go to their very first episode and look at what it is, and then you'll feel really good. Because you'll see that they didn't start where they are now. And what happens is we don't tend to look at that first video. We tend to watch them now when they're successful, when they've figured things out. And then we compare ourselves to that. And we put such a high bar on ourselves. And then we're embarrassed because we don't have all the snazzy backdrops and the beautiful effects and all this other stuff that people have. And that is not a good place to be. You just need to start somewhere and realize that you're going to grow just like they did.
Without a doubt. And again, I'll continue to say the phone is your most powerful free tool, and Facebook Live is free. And if you're an old school thinker, like some of your listeners might be, I really want to give you another good analogy on how live video marketing works and why you need to be consistent. And that's because we know email marketing. It's been effective for years. It is lowering on the effective scale, but the overall point of an email marketing campaign is so that when we open our inbox, we see the brand. We don't have to click on it. Open rates are around 20 to 30% or lower in some cases. They're not counting on us clicking on it. They're counting on us being reminded that they're there, reminded that they're in business. So when you do live video, know that the vanity metrics of views and things like that and how many live viewers you have on aren't huge. It comes down to, did you make an impact? So if I pop up in your feed, is it, oh yeah, Danny Colella's there. Yep, he's still working. That's all I want you to know. I don't need you to watch. I don't need you to listen to all my content. I'm happy if you watch 3 seconds of my stuff and then move on, because at the end of the day, I'm making an impact. I'm reminded that I'm in your feed. You've been seeing my live videos now that we're friends, Marissa. And the point is, I want to keep poking you to say, I'm the live video expert. If you have somebody that you want to refer to me, I'm still here. Because if I don't connect with you after the first conversation, chances are you're going to forget everything I do. But if I continue to earn my way into your feed, you're going to continue to get touched by me and continuously be reminded what I do, which makes you a very effective referral partner for me.
Yes. And here's the deal. You're the only one that I can think of when it comes to that, because you're always there. And so even though there are other people out there, I don't see them. I see you. And so if somebody says to me, I'm thinking of going live, but I'm not sure where to start, is there someone you could connect me with? And the first person I think of is you. It just makes sense because you're always there.
And you're reminded that I'm doing what I do. You're seeing me do what I do. And the one strategy that always works, and I make this joke all the time, I call it Facebook stalking. Have you ever been curious what somebody does because you saw something they put online? Next thing you know, you're 24 profile pictures deep into their profile for no reason. You've clicked on their website because you were curious. So I'm really interested in creating curiosity. I want you to not watch my first 5 live videos, but see me in the feed. And I want you on my 6th live video to stop, click on my name, read my bio, see my website, look at some of my pictures, eventually visit my website. That is a fantastic first marketing touch. And more importantly, it cost me $0. I didn't have to pay for SEO to drive you to my website. You just got curious and you Facebook stalked me. And I do that as well to other people that really I'm curious about or they really interest me. I click around.
Yes. And, in this podcast, Danny, we talk about awareness a lot. And that's what you're doing. You're creating that awareness and then leading into engagement, which then leads to trust. And that's the only time somebody's ever going to even consider reaching out to you. They have to know you, like you, trust you. We've heard this over and over again. This is old stuff, but it's still valuable today. And live is that tool.
Live video continues to grow year after year after year because it's preferred by social networks. Do your own research. Type in live video versus produced video. Produced is anything that was filmed ahead of time. There are actually really big studies out there where they took very prominent social media channels and they evaluated their produced content or the videos that they filmed and released. And again, this is for things like Facebook. YouTube produced does really, really, really well. But on Facebook, they took these produced videos and they compared them against live videos that the channel started doing. And the engagement and the interaction and the fans, it went through the roof. So I'll leave you to your own to go out there and type that in Google, because I know you're going to find exactly what I'm saying.
If you are making an offer of some sort, I don't think there's anything more effective than live, because think about it. If you were, for example, offering a program or even a product and you're there and you're saying, click on the link to get more information, you'll have much more engagement, which could potentially lead to better sales as well. If there's something that you want to offer and you want to get people to take action immediately. The longer people think about things, the longer they take to interact and engage, the lower the chances are to convert. And so live is much more effective in that capacity as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to take this opportunity to promote right on this podcast a student of mine up in Canada. She owns a business called Take a Hike Plus Take Two Boutique. So she sells random items and things that are outdoorsy. And essentially, when COVID hit, she knew she needed to start live video. And she does an hour-long live video every Thursday night at 7 p.m. where she showcases products that she has. Go and check her out because people are buying product left and right. And I'm an admin of her page, so I get the private messages as well. Weeks after she does this live, somebody will send a message and say, hey, I'll take number 32 in black. And she's continuously making sales because she decided to go live. But more importantly, what you'll notice that she does, she is building community. She cares for these people. She talks to these people. She says their names out loud on a broadcast. And why she's effective is because she's not just selling, she's building community. These people show up because they want to buy things, but we don't know their stories. They could be really isolated, and this could be one of the biggest parts of their week. So I want to challenge you to say, are there people that need to be connected, and they need people like you that are brave enough to connect them to a community of things that they love? So she's building community around of her products, things she loves. She'll sell sandals, and then she'll go right to selling a neon sign that says home, and then back to selling some snowshoes. So check her out because she's a great example of what it takes to sell on social media. And she's a fantastic student that follows all directions, which I love.
I love it. And you're absolutely right. And if she didn't broadcast, I guarantee her community would go, what happened? I was looking forward to this. So it really does matter.
You are 100% correct that they would miss her.
Danny, I'm convinced. I know that live is here to stay. How do people get a hold of you and how do they learn more about what you do to help them?
The great way to learn everything that I do is to visit DannyColella.com, DannyColella.com. And that has all of my business offerings. You can scroll all the way to the bottom and you're going to see something that says Get the Starter Kit. I created a mobile live starter kit that essentially teaches you how to use your iPhone and has those cool tips and tricks like put your phone in airplane mode, run a speed test, how to save your video when you're done. All these pro tips that took me years to learn. It's in a free PDF that I send you that even has mobile live starter equipment like microphones, lights, tripods that can actually hold your device. And then if you're an entrepreneur and you're a solopreneur and you run your own business, I have a coaching platform that helps you in a one-on-one basis move through live. And if you're a business and you have a bigger organization, I do help businesses not only learn how to do live to attract their customers, but I also offer myself as an online personality for businesses that just don't have that person on staff that can confidently talk on live video and promote their offers.
Thank you. I really appreciate you being here and sharing all of this information with us. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be somebody out there listening going, okay, what's the holdup? I got to get going.
You're so welcome. And I just want to take a second to thank you for creating a podcast like this. If someone is still listening to this podcast up to this point, we just want to thank Marissa for actually creating content that you can show up to learn and live your life better. So you deserve an accolade that you're creating community and you're doing the same thing live video does, but in an audio format, and your listeners would care if you weren't there at all as well.
I just love doing this because I love helping people and putting small business in a position where they can share their passion and the value that they provide and having listeners out there that can benefit from it. It really means a lot, Danny. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
That's a wrap for this episode of Live Blissed Out. Thanks for listening, and thanks to Danny Colella for joining us on the show. If you have a question or comment for a future episode, all you have to do is go to speakpipe.com/LBOVM or click the link in the show notes to leave a brief audio message. If you find value in our show, please visit liveblessedout.com to reach out, subscribe, and share on social media. This show is made possible through listeners like you. Thank you. So long for now, and remember to keep moving forward.